Hi friends, Pastor Jeff here from Christ Church with another daily devotional. One of the things I know that we're all thinking about right now is, when are things going to go back to normal? When are we going to be able to pick up our lives that we've all put on hold, and when is this all going to be over? And that's hard because we just don't know an answer to that question. We don't know when things are going to go back to how they were. But I think God wants to actually speak into this for us. From Isaiah chapter 43, verse 18 and 19. A little bit of context: the people of Israel had been conquered by the Babylonians, and they had been taken back to Babylon, and so they had been had their lives completely disrupted. They were disconnected from one another because there were still people living in Jerusalem, only some of them had been taken. And so Isaiah is writing this to those who were living in exile, those who had had disrupted lives and were disconnected from others. This is what he says to them under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. God, through his servant Isaiah, says, "Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." Right? This is what God speaks to these people whose lives have been completely upended. He says, don't consider things of old. Don't look back to how things used to be. Instead, look at how I'm making a new thing right now. In other words, don't look back to how things were. Consider what is in this moment. Right? Don't look back to how your life used to be. Consider how life now is. To put it really short, I think a lot of us, we need to accept that we have a new normal. Instead of wondering when are things going to go back to normal, we just have to accept we have a new normal. Certainly, I hope this is all over at some point, and we're all praying for that. But the reality is, this is life as it is right now. And so how are we dealing with life as it is right now? If we're consistently looking back to how things used to be, we're not accepting just how things are in this moment. And that's going to make us frustrated, make us discouraged, make us fearful. But we can move forward in life when we just accept that there's a new normal to all of our lives, right? When we don't look back to the former things or consider the things of old, but instead we see this new thing. And not just that this new thing that's happening, but this new thing that God is doing, right? It says, I'm doing a new thing, right? The Lord is active. God has not stopped sitting on his throne. He has not gone out of control of this moment of history. I don't know why the Lord has made this our new normal, but he has allowed it to happen. He is doing something. And so are we going to accept what God is doing? Are we going to accept and find ways to make a new normal in our lives? Or are we still going to constantly be grating against this and fighting against this and struggling against this and complaining about this? Or are we just going to move forward with our lives as they now are? We shouldn't have our lives on pause. Certainly we need to do life differently. Certainly we need to take care to follow all the precautions that are being put out by our civil government, which is here for our good. We all have a new lifestyle that we're living, but that's the whole point. I think we should embrace that new lifestyle. Not just look back to how things were, but to consider, how can I live life as it now is? And we can do that when we believe that God is the one who's done this. When we believe that God is the one who is making a new thing. Because watch, he says, I'll make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Now, in ancient times, there was nothing scarier than the wilderness because it was out of control, and so there was wild beasts that could attack you. The only thing that was maybe as scary as that was as the desert, because there was no supplies in the desert, right? Like you could die in the desert of starvation or dehydration. But here's saying, I'm going to make a way in the wilderness. God's like, I'm going to get you through this. I'm going to make rivers in the desert. I'm going to provide for you, right? And so this life is being completely upended. We might feel like we're in a wilderness, that there are just beasts at any corner ready to jump out and attack us. Or we might feel, maybe even this week you've lost your job and you're like, man, I'm in a desert. Like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this. I feel like there's not enough resources for me to get by. God wants you to know he's going to make a way. He's going to do something. He hasn't abandoned you. He is still with you. The God who was with you in the old normal is with you now in the new normal. And so I think it's just a matter of embracing where you're at in life right now, trusting that God is working in life right now, not pining away for how things were, but instead accepting how things now are and thinking, okay, if this is my new normal, then how can I move forward in trusting God, in loving Him, and loving other people? How can I move forward in life as it now is? I hope that's something that encourages you, provides some thought in you. I love you. I'm praying for you. Please share, like, comment on this. It's helpful to get feedback. And I'll see you tomorrow with another daily devotional. God bless.